Hey everybody, it is the beginning of the chapter on probability, which is really cool because that means after this, there's only the one on trig and sinusoidal graphing. So we are well on our way to being done. All right, so this chapter is probably a bit closer to permutations and combinations than it is to finance. Now that may or may not excite you, but it's going to require some careful reading. But the formulas aren't too scary, but you got to read carefully and remember which formulas to use. So we're going to do a little bit of introduction first, and then we'll actually get into the formulas. All right, so what I want you to do is to read the statements here. I think there's 5. And I want you to number them 1 to 5, with 1 being the best chance of getting good Bannock from me, and 5 being the worst chance of getting good Bannock. And I said, seriously, you will not hurt my feelings, but it's really important. I want you to pause it and actually think about what you're writing. And so 1 is the best chance, and 5 is the worst. So please pause the video. All right, so let's take a look. We've got, it is doubtful that Joanne is going to make good Bannock for class. It is likely that Joanne is going to make good Bannock for class. Okay, you know what? As I'm going, I should have my highlighter here, but I'm going to say, I'm just going to put a little negative out there because that doesn't sound good. So I'm kind of prejudging these as we go. And the word there is doubtful. Okay, it's likely that Joanne is going to make it. Okay, so likely is my key here. And that's probably positive. Joanne is not going to make good Bannock for the class. Okay, is not going. So that's definitely more on the negative side. I mean, we're going to make that double negative. I don't know if it can get worse than that. It is okay, we got questionable if Joanne is going to make good Bannock for the class. That doesn't sound like a very good chance there either. And we have, it is probable. Okay, so this probable sounds a little more positive. So now, number them 1 to 5 with 1 being the best chance. I think, now likely or probable. I'm going to choose this one as number 1, and this is number 2. But if you read the question right there, do you think everybody's going to, you don't have to agree with my ratings, but I think we can agree that those 2, whichever one you put first, are going to be the best chances. Okay. And I know Joanne is not going to make good Bannock for the class. Well, that's the worst. So that leaves me with doubtful and questionable. Which is which? I think doubtful is a little better. No, I think questionable is slightly better. And doubtful is probably not going to happen. Okay. So this is like, when you read stuff, this is the probability that people talk in. Don't like that enough. This, not so cool. But what I do want you to do is, you should have a hand in. I'm not 100% sure whether it's in with your package or whether you got it separately. But there's a little article to read on injury report designations and a few questions to answer. All right. So let's get to the more mathy stuff. It's going to take us a while, but it's going to be more mathy at least for a bit. Okay, so by definition, probability is the chance that something will happen. Pause for a sec. Okay, sorry about that. I was hoping I had a highlighter with me, but I don't. So I'm going to use my green pen. And you know that. If you say Joanne is probably going to make good Bannock, it's talking about the chance of it happening. I guess as you say, that's probably going to happen. That doesn't make sense. Okay, but, and there's such a lovely but here, in math, it has a special meaning. Okay, so first of all, in this class, and that's just so we're all talking in the same language, we're always going to express probability specifically as a decimal. So we're not going to say the probability is 50%. We're going to say the probability is 0.5. It's not a huge deal, but all you do is redo 5 by 100 or move the decimal 2 places to the left to change it from a percent to a decimal. And the range is always going to be between 0 and 1. So 0, not going to happen, and 1 has to happen. Okay, and I said, think of it as a continuum, so as a big line. So on this end is probability of 0, and on this end is probability of 1. So I would like you to pause the video, and I want you to think of something that isn't going to happen and write it here. And then think of something that is going to happen and write it over there. So when I look at your stuff, I don't want you to have the same examples that I do. Let's think. All right, I'm going to say the probability of 0 of being abducted by aliens in next 5 seconds. I think that's 0. I'll be quite surprised if it's not. Okay, something that's certain to happen. Let's say Joanne is going to finish this video. Or I could have said Joanne is making this video. All right, so not going to happen. Santa delivering presents. Whatever you want to put. Okay, do not put passing this math class. That should be more over onto this side. All right. Now think about 2 things that might happen and put them on the continuum. So how about that? Right, that's, so I'm thinking like there's 50%. It's a good chance y'all are going to pass the math class. Something that's probably not going to happen. And you can put in whatever you want. I'm going to put Eric's my son. He's out in Vancouver and he's working and he's busy, and I'm very proud of him, but the chances of him making it home this summer are slim, and actually probably closer over there, but mama's got a hope. You can put on whatever you want. Okay. Because it wouldn't make any sense for you to put that on yours. And that, hold on, is the end of this video. That was short and sweet.